Welcome to the A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal podcast, where each week I, Dr. Mal, share life lessons and motivation to kickstart your Monday. Whether you're starting your day or winding down, join me or me and my future guest for a burst of positivity and a fresh perspective. Let's make Mondays meaningful together. Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. Today's show is titled, What Fitness Experts Want You to Know. This is one of a series of shows highlighting health and wellness here in the month of January. Last week, I spoke to vegan fitness expert Eric Bell, and this week, I'm excited for you to hear what I spoke about with another vegan fitness expert, Estelle Brooks. But before I do, you should know I love me a good definition, and I'm team #facts over feelings, so let's get into it. All right, y'all. Let's talk about fitness for our seasoned sisters and brothers. We often focus on young folks in these conversations, but hear me out. Staying active is crucial at every stage of life, and that includes when you got a little more wisdom under your belt. So let's break down some facts. Number one, the CDC recommends that older adults, 65 years old and up, get at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity each week, like brisk walking, water aerobics, or even dancing. Throw in some muscle strengthening activities for at least 2 weeks and you are golden. I know my grandma, she is 75 years young, and she practices this moderate intensity aerobic activity a week by line dancing in her living room. So get in how you fit in, girl. Second, physical inactivity is such a major risk. Unfortunately, as we age, staying active can feel harder, and that puts us at higher risk for chronic illnesses. 80% of older adults have at least one chronic disease, and 77% have two or more. Regular movement can help manage or even prevent conditions like heart disease, hypertension, and diabetes. Now, I want to take a moment and shine a light on the Black queens. Did you know that African American women experience the highest rates of obesity compared to other groups of women? And this is not just for the seasoned population, this is for all age groups. The Office of Minority Health reports that nearly 60% of Black women over the age of 20 are obese. Let that simmer for a second. Over the age of 20, 60%. That's wild. And yes, that includes many of our elders too. Obesity significantly increases the risk of heart disease, strokes, and type 2 diabetes. We want to live our best lives, right? Staying mobile, active, and independent for as long as possible, I would hope. So just 30 minutes of walking a few times a week can improve balance, boost mood, and help maintain muscle strength, which is crucial for preventing falls and maintaining everyday independence. And it's not just about cardio. After menopause, bone density decreases and can lead to osteoporosis. Weight-bearing exercises like light resistance bands or gentle weightlifting can help keep those bones strong. Even low-impact moves like Tai Chi, yoga, or Pilates can make a world of difference. Ooh, pick me. I just experienced what Pilates could do. I grew an inch because I've been practicing elongating my spine. So I digress. I was just public service announcement about Pilates. I give it a whoop whoop because it's been doing me justice. And I know I said this last week, but it's worth saying again in the name of mental health and emotional health. Regular exercise can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression by up to 30%, no matter what age you are. For older adults, especially Black women who may also be carrying the weight of generational trauma, this emotional boost can be a game changer. Movement isn't just for your body, it feeds your mind and soul too. And getting fit doesn't have to be a solo mission. Community groups, church fitness ministries, and local rec centers often have classes geared towards older adults like Zumba Gold or chair yoga. This is also a great way to keep that social life popping because we all need that sense of community, especially as we get older. And for those dealing with mobility challenges or chronic pain, adaptations are key. A lot of facilities offer seated workouts, aquatic classes that are gentler on the joints. There's something out here for everyone, no matter your limitations on fitness level, and to the point of water and fitness in water. I did a lot of fitness in water while I was pregnant, and it was fantastic. I was carrying this big belly around, and I was doing water aerobics. Actually, I think it was water Zumba. And I was the youngest person in the class, but I absolutely loved it because water does help you get the workout that your body needs without having so much weight on those joints and so much strain on those joints. So there you have it. The only thing that matters at this point is that you're moving, breathing, and loving on that beautiful body of yours. And that's why I'm excited for you to hear from Miss Estelle, because she is the epitome of all of that.
All guest podcasts are titled What They Want You to Know, and my intention is to dive deep into the minds of experts, thought leaders, and fascinating individuals to uncover the one thing they truly want you to know about their area of expertise. I intend to unapologetically and unequivocally center the voices of people from powerful groups targeted by oppression. However, if there are other community members who can interject on the topic, they'll be invited to the cookout too.
So, to formally introduce my guest this week, I interviewed Miss Estelle Brooks. She is a vibrant and proud 71 years young certified fitness instructor and personal trainer with a master's degree in social work. She finds great joy in helping clients achieve life-changing health and fitness goals. Her approach emphasizes supporting and encouraging clients to nurture their overall well-being spiritually, mentally, physically, and creatively. She is an absolute powerhouse, and I am 1000% inspired by her. So it was an honor to interview her. Here's what we talked about.
First of all, can I just say that I'm really honored that you even agreed to be interviewed by me. Like when we first met, it was actually, we didn't meet that day, I don't believe, but it was when I showed up to the Labor Day 5K Black Girls Run, and I don't even know how I got the invite. But that day, Rainey, you, and Enid had all gotten the medals for being the top in your age group.
Right.
I have not always been into fitness, but I took into running because I feel closer to God when I'm in that space.
Yes.
And so just seeing a group of women and being around a group of women who are also this energy of let's run. So you were inspiring to me before we got together and are having this conversation. So I really appreciate
Well, thank you. Thank you.
it.
Yeah.
We got to give people their flowers so they can.
No, I agree. I truly agree. And I just appreciate you even asking me to be on your, yes. I was like, yes. I'm like, what? Okay. Yes.
Because we got stuff to talk about. So if you could just start off for my audience and just tell us a little bit about you. What do you want us to know about you?
Okay. My name's Estelle Brooks, 71 years old. My background is I have a master's in social work. So for over 30 plus years, I have been working with people in the field of social work, where I was working with at the state level, kids that were being removed from the home for whatever reason. And I was the one who reunited the family, have the kids back home with their parents or mom or whoever that person was. So I did that for over 30 years. And I look at now I'm into fitness. I have my own business. It's called Fit for You is for You. And I look at you never know what the big picture is in life. No, I never looked at being a social worker and being a personal trainer, putting them together. But they work together. it's just a continuation of working with people, but just on a different level. And
Exactly.
the level, yeah. Now, when you look at it, I never thought you could not have told me at the time that when I got my master's, because my plan was I was going to help everybody. I was going to be the savior and let everybody I could help. That was my job, helping everyone. And what I found out as a social worker, everybody doesn't want that help. Some people they don't want to be helped. And in the field of health and fitness, it's the same. People come and they want it, but they don't want it.
I
Yeah.
noticed that. I
Yes.
noticed it even just being around you, just when we were at the business summit together,
Yes.
and people were reporting to you like, hey, I want to work out, but I just can't do it. It was like they needed something from you,
Yes.
but they didn't really want it, because if you want to do it, you will
You
do
will
it.
do it. It's like sometimes it's like you put people on the spot, like because when you're talking about it and they say, well, yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that, but I'm not doing it. And I just know that where I am in as far as my life and my health and taking care of myself is very important. And as women and as Black women, we have to take charge, because we know how to, when we're ready to, we will take charge.
That's right.
We are the head. The man is the head of the household, but we control everything.
That's right.
So when we're ready to say, you know what, I'm looking at my schedule and I know I got these kids, but look, I need this time for me. When we're serious, we will do it. We'll find a way, because we find a way to do our hair, to do our nails, to do our everything, but we don't find time to take care of ourselves. And when I say our health, I mean mental, I mean your physical, your spiritual, your emotional, all that has to come together. And what we don't understand, when something's off kill, and when one of those areas is not being addressed, it's off kill. If you're not together,
You're all messed up. Every part of you is messed up because you're balanced. Yes, you're balanced.
yes,
It's really, well, I just also created a business not around fitness, but the social emotional well-being of Black girls in suburban spaces, specifically because that's my educational experience and my professional experience too. And we talk about there's different areas of wellness that we're focusing on. And if one of those are imbalanced, then we all are imbalanced. So I think that we're both using our platforms to share the same message, that although in this particular episode, I reached out to you to talk about health and wellness. Health and wellness is fully encompassing, and we often just focus on the body, but we don't focus on the mental, the spiritual, the the occupational and financial. There's all these other areas of wellness that we have to balance. So I'm so glad that you said that.
it's so important that, and I just know that 20s and 30s and 40s, I worked out, but I wasn't as consistent. I dabbed in it, because I had my kids, I was married, this, but I still made time. I used to watch, I remember, I can't even think of her name, but because I was in graduate school, and I would get up at 6 a.m, click on this video and work out I can't even think of her name, but I worked out with her every morning. See, well, that's what I'm saying. We make time for what we want to do.
For what's important to us, yes.
Yes. But when I hit 50, it's like something, the biggest light bulb, it was like a distraction, like, what are you going to do? So when I meet women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and they don't take value who they were. You didn't get to 50 with just la-di-da. The Creator still has you here for a purpose. So
That's
what
right.
are you going to do with it? It's not like, if we go back to scripture, you know how long they lived? Okay.
Right. Living for hundreds and
We
hundreds.
talk about 100 years. Yeah. So we just talking about, we done 50, 60, we spring chickens. You know what I mean? So I just think that when we just have to look at life and look at it fully and do what you think is best for you, because everybody's on a different level.
It's right. It's true.
Everybody.
Yeah, and that comparison piece, we shouldn't compare ourselves to others. It's ourselves to ourselves and the journey that we have to go on. I want
Yeah.
to get up a little bit though, because you talked about your 30s, 40s, and 50s, not necessarily focusing on health and wellness. And then that light switch happened when you were 50. And I can attest to the light switch thing because I had that same thing happen when I was 40. It was like when I was 40. I'm 40 right now, but it literally, I know what you're talking about when you say light switch, because I felt that same thing too. So when did you start actually doing personal training? Was it while you were working full time as a social worker, or did you make that switch in after you transitioned?
Well, I was I was a social worker, but I was just kind of dabbling in and out. I got my certification. I was teaching like at the Linwood YMCA. So I was teaching classes and working as a social worker. So I was doing both. And then once I left, this is something about working with people in the field of being a social worker. Sometimes when I say burnout, you just get overwhelmed with working with people that don't want your help.
Right.
And I start feeling like your burnout is not going to help anybody. So you need to go ahead, transition while you can, and go ahead and do something that you want to do. And when I left that, being a social worker, and I still doing it, but I'm not doing it with the state. I'm not working with families in that area, because it was draining after a while. I was like, I know society has really changed, but mothers were not being mothers like they were in the beginning. Mothers were not like, I'll do anything to get my child back. I was seeing too much of like, they're okay with their grandmother. They're okay with their fathers. As long as I can visit them, it's okay. They don't have to stay with me. They know I'm their mother. And I was getting quite a bit of that. So I was like, you might need to let this go and do something that you want to do. Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. Through your testimony, even right now, I can hear all the stories that are behind all of those moments. And also, one thing that you just said that's poignant is that if you feel like it's not a space that you can be in, then you need to move. That's our intuition, our souls are actually telling us when you need to move. Like,
Yes.
you have to tap into that and listen to that and follow that, because that's a given thing to say, like, hey, it's now your time to move. I'm making you uncomfortable so you can.
Yes. And you know how sometimes we'll hold on for either financial reasons or whatever, but we're not happy. When I started out as a social worker in my 20s, when I say I loved it, I loved it. It's no regrets. I loved helping people, and I still do. People say it's in my DNA. It's in my DNA.
I believe it. I believe it. Absolutely. So you have made your business to help people and to help them stay motivated and get fit. So what's your go-to advice when someone's feeling stuck or unmotivated to move?
I really take time, and that's one thing. But having that background in social work, I take time. Let's find out what's going on. Sometimes they don't even realize until we start talking about it, what it is. And once we talk about, like, you were so gung-ho, you were so motivated. It's always something has came into play that has taken your motivation away. Let's look at what's going on. Presently, what's different from then to now. And sometimes I know when people work out, they plateau. Like, I'm losing now, I'm stuck. Okay, now we need to reevaluate. Okay, if you're not moving that weight and you're not losing those inches, a lot of times it's our eating. It's what we're drinking. Sometimes people think, oh, I don't drink often, but I drink wine or I drink alcohol. All that affects us. It affects your body. I would never tell anybody, okay, if you're going to drink, okay, but you're not going to get the effects that you really want with doing that.
Exactly.
You're not. And it's not like, we always use the term moderation, and I don't like that because that's just giving you excuse.
Right.
That's just giving you excuse. So you're saying 6 days a week, you done ate healthy, drank all the water, now you feel good. But on Saturday, you drank, I did everything to defile what you done did for 6 days.
Right. Right.
To me, it's just like, it doesn't add up.
Yeah, so I'm glad you said that because I'm very vocal about me being plant-based. So what is a diet that you practice or that you have to keep your body optimal in your workouts?
I'm plant-based. And a lot of people stick you into vegetarian, vegan. They have all these names now. When you just eat seafood,
Pescatarian.
yeah. So what our society does, we come up with names just to benefit people.
Right.
So you're this. What I look at is healthy. What you cannot go wrong with what comes from the earth. Fruits and vegetables, you cannot go wrong. And people feel like, oh, you don't eat any meat. I just can't. Don't say what you can't do. Just say that you don't want to do it.
Yes.
It's been almost 8, 9 years now. Was this a plan or something that I just said, you know what, today I'm not going to eat? No, it did. Things have happened in my life that I knew and just researched that just wasn't healthy for me.
And you listen to your body.
Yes. And I tell anyone, 20s and 30s, I ate me some meat. I did. I ate fried chicken. You name it, I ate it. Even in my 30s, I ate that. I did. But I can honestly say today, since I've been off, no, when I say meat, because you would say, no, I don't eat any meat. Well, do you eat chicken or seafood? But that's meat.
I struggle with that too, Mrs. Estelle.
Say, what is that? Is it me? I always want to say, is it me? That's still an animal. That's me.
Yeah. Anything that was living and you had to kill it.
That's me. So I always look at them like, no, I don't, But I have to say that for me, it worked. And I hear people say, you needed all this protein. I'm telling you, I eat enough where I get the protein that I need. When I go to the doctor, I'm not lacking in any of those areas. And a lot of times what they feel like, if our food tastes good, it's about your herbs, it's about your seasoning. You can make anything taste good.
Well, actually, if you think about it, your palate actually widens because when you enter the plant-based space, you have so many more options to choose from.
Yes.
And so you can eat so many more things than just the standard American diet that has big portion of meat, small veggies, starch. So I feel like I have entered a whole new world. Never in a million years would I have ever said my favorite fruits are pomegranate, rambutans, and Mexican mangoes specifically because they were very sweet when I when I went to Mexico and there was actually a man with a wagon attached to his bicycle driving around. It was full of mangoes, selling them. Nothing else has ever given me that satisfaction.
Right.
That mango.
Right.
Like, what would I have had if I would have just focused on, hey, let me get the juiciest steak or let me get the... There's steak all over the place. There's chicken all over the place. Where can you find the most variety of abundance? It's in the fruit, in the veggies. There's so many things to eat.
And you are so, yes, you are so, yes. And I tell people this, when I was coming up, I remember my mother taught me how to cut up a chicken. The smallest part of that chicken was the wing. If it was this big. Now wings are this. You can get 3 wings, I think they said, but they huge.
Huge.
And I think people don't think, now how did this wing get this big? Because they pump some, they have pumped those chickens up. You cannot pay me $1 million,
$1 million. You
no,
can't pay me to do it no more.
I'm not gonna do it.
I get physically sick in spaces where there's meat because people like
the smell.
the smell. They try to invite me out, and I feel some type of way because even in that, it's like the people that you hang around, you no longer have anything in common with, because food is how we nourish our body. I do have something in common with you, but you enjoy the smell of dead animals. I no longer, in fact, my body gets sick when I am around the smell of dead animals. So because we have spent so much time around food and making that point of connection, it feels like, the connection gets broken when we're around people that aren't, in that vibration.
I take a cooking class. It's Stacy Hardiman.
Yeah, she's
tasting vegan. And when I tell you, I have learned, oh my God, to cook because it's hands-on.
Yeah.
I have learned how to cook so many different recipes since I've been going to. And I like it because if I like the Buddha bowl, I know I've eaten out, but I have learned how to fix it myself. I have saved tons and tons of money. I'll call Stacy and say, Stacy, I'm going to make this. Now what? And she'll tell me, Mrs. Estelle, and I'm calling, girl, like black bean burgers. I have learned how to do so much. See, when you change and you change your eating, it's good to learn what you like. I know when I fix it, what's in it.
That's right.
Even when you go to different restaurants, you have to have, I went and I said, whatever I ordered, I said, they said, you vegan, vegetarian, plant-based. I said, but in your broth, do you have, it's chicken broth. Why would you even bring it? Yeah. So before we eat, we got to ask this, all these questions. And then they say, oh yeah, does these beans, oh yeah, the beans are, okay, but it has chicken broth or
beef broth.
Beef broth. Oh, what?
I can't eat it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Give
me a salad.
Yeah, I know. Well, and that, I choose to eat at home primarily because if I go out, unless this is Kansas City. So the podcast is nationwide. So I have to say, in Kansas City, we have Gigi's Vegan.
Yes.
Which is raw vegan. And then we have Cafe Gratitude, which is a 100% organic, 100% vegan. And then we have Maddie's, which is a cultural, it's for the culture. And then she's talking about she's KC Vegan. We worked together for the Midwest Soul Veg Fest.
Right.
And we were on the committee together. And I love that she takes food that is of Black culture and flips it to say, hey, here's the vegan version of it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make a huge modification. You just have to use plant-based products to make whatever you want to make. So, and she, you just alluded to, she throws down. So
yes, she does.
I love that. So I love this, Miss Estelle, because I want to take this time to let my listeners know that you completed something that you had not ever done in your whole entire life.
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us about that?
Yes. I ran and walked, I'm going to be honest, a marathon.
You completed
a marathon, 26.2 miles. Myself and 3 of my friends, accountability partners, we started training in July 1st. We did strength training. We really watched what we ate. We did legs. We did a whole body. We worked our whole body. Different days, we had different things we did. We increased our miles, and in November, it was an all women's marathon. first one in Savannah, Georgia. November 16th, I think, was the day. And you know what? When you prepare for stuff like in life, preparation, I knew I was ready. The day of the event, we got there, and it was so awesome to just be in the presence that you can ready to do 26.2. And I remember before I start just talking to God, like, okay, I'm great. Okay. My heart beating fast. And I've done races before, but this was a big one. Like I've done half, I did my 10K, but this is like like I said, the big one. Started off, it was kind of dark. It was challenging, but it was worth it.
I love it.
When I got up to 18 miles, my body was really, when I say talking, I talk to myself. You know, people laugh. I said I was calling the ancestors, like Harriet Tubman, Rosa, somebody. Y'all need to help this sister get on to 26 miles.
I love it.
And one of my accountability partners, and I always give her flowers, Gail, she saw I was struggling, and she said, "You're gonna be okay." And my leg was bothering me, like I've never had that kind of pain. And I was thinking, she said, "Look, we can ready to do this thing." And it's sometimes you just need a little reinforcement to say, "Girl, let's go." And when she said that, I hate to get back. You know, it's like you 18 miles. You're like, come on. Well, when I got to 24 miles, then when we got to 26, it was something like kicked in like, girl, you done did this thing. You have done it. Now, you know, usually I run across I had no energy. I couldn't trot across. I walked across. They showed a picture of me. I looked like, what the hell? What have you just done? But you know what though? When I look back, and I'm 71, and that's the first marathon I've ever, you know, it's like people do them. First one, I check it off. I did it. I completed, but I do not want to do another one.
I love that. That's what most people say. I look, I did it. I don't got to do it no more.
I don't have to, you know. And you know what? It wasn't trying to prove it to anyone else. It was just letting myself know. Estelle, age is what you make it. And I knew my body could do it. I had to help it out. You know, my mind, body had to, like we said, emotional, spiritually, all that had to come together for me to get on across that finish line. But yes, I did that.
And you did that. And you know what? When you said what Miss Gail said to you, and you just telling me that, like, oh, we about to do this thing, that felt like a Black woman hug. Like that, it's what words, but you know, you just felt like,
yeah,
pick you up and we about to push forward.
We about to get on up. Yeah, she said, come on. And she went out all the way. She came all the way through it. She's like, come on, come on, pick it up. Come on, let's go.
You ain't made it this far to stop.
Yes. We've been training since July. So that's July, August, September, October, almost 4 months. Wow. A good 4 months.
Wow, that's incredible.
It was a good experience. I would never tell anyone not to do it, because if you can do it, do it. Yeah. That's all I can say. Well, if you can do that, do it.
So my next goal is half marathons, and then my next goal is just to do. But I heard that, you know, you might be the done, but there's the crazy few that are like, let me do a marathon every time it comes up.
I'll do half.
Yeah.
That's my, you know, and everybody else, like I said, I would never disencourage anyone. Estelle will not do it.
Okay.
Yes.
I do ask my guests 2 questions like that are the same for every episode. And you already answered the one. You said in response to my question, what's one thing you want us to know about? And you said the importance of not looking at your age as a barrier. And I know that you were talking about fitness, but you are a beautiful living testimony. It's not just about fitness. It's about anything.
Yes. Yes.
Be a barrier to anything, because even in the presence of you, if I didn't know who you were, I would not say you were 71 years old. I mean, just societally, what I think of societally, or 71 years young, I should say, because what? But it's because you choose every day with your actions to go against the grain, to say this may be what people envision a 71 years young person looks like, but I don't have to look like that. And
Exactly.
it's or even not even look like, because feel like, experience like. You don't have to experience life like what society thinks a 71-year-old person should experience. That alone is 1,000% inspirational to me.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I'm 30 years away from that.
Right.
It's like
Yeah. And
30 years, I get to decide what I'm
yes.
you know, and
And I know that where you are now with the mentality of I've changed my eating. I am going to take care of myself no matter what. I know mentally, physically, emotionally, I am going to do that. You're going to slide on into 50, 60. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because the mindset is there.
Yeah.
But as women, we struggle with, we put things out for tomorrow a lot. And the sad thing about life, what's promised?
Nothing.
I hear people, especially my age, say, when I retire, I'ma do, and they retire and they die.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And you don't work your whole life not to even enjoy retirement. No.
no. She said, "Oh no, Okay, well, my final prompt is: I used to think, but now I know. What did you used to think, but now you actually know?"
I used to think that I could save the world, but I know I can only, when I say save, only help or assist but I know that it's not just me. It has to be that person wanting to make changes too.
And that's in all facets. That's
Yes.
everything. 'Cause
Yes.
when I was educating for a public school district, I would often say to parents, like, I can only take your student as far as they would like to go. And I can only be in your student's life to the capacity that you will allow it, because you are the parent too. And this is a trifecta relationship. It's not just
Right.
me.
Yeah.
The person has to be willing to accept help. And then we have to all work together to make this.
Yes. To bring it together.
Yeah.
Because me as a personal trainer, I can't do it without you.
Mm-mm.
I can't just come pick you up and say, get in the car and whatever. I want you to, when you come into my studio, virtual or in person, it's about you.
Right. 110%.
110%. Yes.
Well, I'm so grateful that you agreed again to be a part of my podcast, because this is one of those seeds in the
Yes.
greater garden of growing what my life purpose is. My life purpose is to connect to people like you. We can all be the change we want to see. Like, hey,
Yes.
you don't have to struggle through this. There's people out here that can help, and you have a large, abundant heart of compassion and serving the community, and I do too. So I think this is beautiful. Where can we connect with you online?
Yes. You can go to my Facebook page, which is Fit for You is for you, or my website is Fit for You for you. That's my website page. And my number is 816-772-9753.
Okay.
I do virtual and in person. So you can live in Timbuktu and I can train you.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you do live videos on LinkedIn.
Yes, do every Tuesday. It's at no cost. If you at home with lunch, I do a 30-minute chair fitness workout.
I like it.
All you have to do is either call me, text me, and I'll add you to my my list and send you the link. So that's every Tuesday, 12 noon.
I love that so much. Well, and blessings to you.
To you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Well, that's all for me this week. I hope that you not only enjoyed Eric from last week, but Miss Estelle, she be dropping them dimes. So I hope that you were able to get something, anything from our conversation, no matter what age you are. But she just happens to be 71 years young and fly. Like, I have 30 years to get to where she's at. And let me tell you, I will be looking and feeling and moving just like her. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope that again you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. For the month of February, I'm diving into relationships. Relationships is actually one of my favorite topics, and it's no surprise because I have North Node in Gemini, and that's really what I'm here to do, is to foster and hold dear and near to me relationships. And so for the first week, I'm actually talking about masculine and feminine versus divine masculine and divine feminine energies. This has implications in our relationships, but we often don't understand the difference between the two. So I am going to be talking about the differences between divine masculine, divine feminine energy, and masculine and feminine. They're two different things. Some of y'all might not be ready for this conversation, but that's okay. I'm here to inform. So tune in to hear what I'm talking about. Until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the best week. Thank you for tuning in for a Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Live Podcast Network website and app, and you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. If you love to have the visual, you can tune into my YouTube channel, When Mallory Lives, to see this show and catch up on all my shows from the beginning.